Well, this garden bed looks like chaos, but it's actually the most productive bed in my entire yard. And it didn't start out this way, let me tell you. The real story is that we had problems. There were mistakes made. There were pests and failures. And, well, this messy little salsa garden ended up feeding my family. So I'm going to show you how we did it, and let's get started. Started as a total failure. I followed all the rules, or so I thought, and I got nothing but one measly tomato. Today I'm going to show you the story of how a failed project, basically a pile of dead leaves and a very lazy decision, turned into a non-stop salsa factory. So let's rewind to the beginning. I wanted this to be the ultimate raised garden bed. I had my husband John, there he is, cutting wood, build me a solid frame out of kiln-dried Douglas fir. We also added some weed barrier as well as hardware cloth to the underside of the garden bed. Be sure to check out my video on how hardware cloth is great for keeping out pests such as gophers, which we have a lot of in my area. And we decided to add a heavy-duty trellis for vertical growing, and at the time we weren't sure exactly what plants this bed would be used for, but I had an idea to use the twine to guide my tomatoes upward using this trellis, as you'll see later. And even installed dedicated shade cloth because, let's face it, the Arizona sun is absolutely brutal. I filled it with premium raised garden bed soil. I personally really love the Kellogg's from our local area. We set up the irrigation and planted it with high hopes. And my first attempt at growing tomatoes and peppers in this garden bed. I guess you could call it Salsa Garden 1.0. So the first season started off okay. I guess it wasn't really a salsa garden because I had planted way too much purple basil, but it was really pretty. And when summer hit, it ended up being one of the hotter summers that we experience here in Arizona, and it ended up being just a total bust. The heat destroyed these plants, and they really struggled, and we barely got a harvest. And by the end of the season, it was just a sad box of dead branches and dust. I was so discouraged. I didn't even clean it up. I just left the dead leaves and vines right there in the bed and walked away. Fast forward a few months later, I came back to finally clean up the mess. And surprisingly, out of the many plants that had died, there was still one living plum tomato plant that survived under all that layer of dead debris. So I guess underneath that mess, the soil, which was damp, dark, and heavily mulched with dead leaves, acted like a natural blanket, protecting this tomato plant from our dry winter. So I was back at it again, determined to make this work. I cleaned everything out except for my one tomato plant, and I replenished the soil with all the necessary nutrients a proper salsa garden bed might need, like bone meal, blood meal, earthworm castings, fresh compost, that kind of stuff. And I replanted the bed with a single goal of growing produce to make salsa. I had my plum tomatoes already growing. I also added San Marzano and beefsteak tomatoes, jalapeno, Fresno, and serrano peppers, onions, and cilantro. In the beginning, I was so determined that this bed was going to look and be perfect. I pruned my tomatoes every time I saw a sucker, and I really catered to my plants. I used twine to attempt to train the vines upward, and even as diligent as I was, though, I couldn't stop the challenges that were ahead. Blossom and rot tried to take my first tomatoes, and then we had bugs or caterpillars eating holes through the fruit. I fought back with Rot Stop Spray and Captain Jack's Dead Bug Brew. Highly recommend those two products. I also used mesh bags to protect the tomatoes from the caterpillars or bugs that were eating the holes.
All of these, oh my gosh.
We ended up getting our first harvest in late June, early July, and made salsa for the first time. The plants continued to grow at a really fast growth rate, and before I knew it, I just couldn't keep up, and I actually ended up giving up on trellising them. I didn't even bother to clear the debris or to prune at all. But because the plants were so large, they were actually able to keep the soil covered and cool, and these plants were able to survive the hottest months during our summer. And then the explosion happened. So once the temperatures finally started to come back down, suddenly we weren't just picking a tomato here and there, we were actually hauling in baskets. And we went from that empty failed bed at the beginning of the year to having an abundance of fresh tomatoes and peppers, and finally having the pleasure of making our fresh garden to table salsa to enjoy with friends and family. Well, the downside of letting your vines grow naturally is that they tend to just grow wild. And in our case, they actually ended up growing up over the garden bed and onto the ground. So what we did was we just provided them some support by placing some boards on cinder blocks. And I'm just like, hey, whatever it takes to be able to save your harvest and gain lots of juicy tomatoes. Well, all of these tomatoes and peppers came from one really messy bed. And this just goes to show you don't need fancy systems, you just need to keep going when things get messy. So if you're going on a budget or a busy schedule or just trying to grow real food at home, well, this is the channel for you. So be sure to subscribe, and if you like this video, hit that like button. Thanks for watching. Bye.